And hello, everybody. This is DJ Straight coming to you again today with Praise from the Closet, an open mic. And I am extremely excited today because, again, we are celebrating Clergy Appreciation Month. But I have a very special guest that I'm going to have on today as we celebrate. And I want you all to look at this flyer. Look how beautiful it is. And the person that I'm about to bring on, her personality supersedes the outward appearance. So before I keep running my mouth, let me bring on, as I call her, the one and only Apostle Dr. Onika T. Brown. Apostle Brown, how are you today? And welcome to Praise from the Closet.
Hi, I am well. I'm well. How about you?
I am doing well. I thank you for coming on today. What I wanted to do since October is Clergy Appreciation Month, and I wanted to, as led by the Lord, just pick some pastors, pick a few pastors that not only that I have known for a good period of time, but that made a personal impact on my life. And so I wanted to not only be selfish in knowing you all, but I wanted the nation, the city, the county, and the world to know you all. So, first of all, tell us about your ministry is OT Brown Global. So, tell us what OT Brown Global is first.
Okay, OT Brown Global is a empowerment ministry that deals with the whole man. I believe in having a balanced life, and so what we do, we empower all over business, spiritually, naturally, mentally. And so it is a empowerment ministry that builds you that you're able to live the life that God has already ordained for you in every area.
Great. So, tell me, how long have you been pastoring, and did you start your church from the ground up, or did you inherit a ministry?
I started in 2008 and it's always been started from the ground up.
Okay. All right. And what's the name of your ministry?
New Birth Center of Praise
And you're located where?
in Florence, South Carolina.
And what does that ministry mean? What does the title mean? What does that mean?
New Birth Center of Praise is the birthing place, literally. Individuals come and I like to relate it to if anybody knows anything about a flower and when it's dying and how it just dries up and it's wilted up. New Birth Center of Praise is the birthing place where literally individuals come who are or have given up or in the transition of giving up or they want more, and because other people did not identify their gifts or talents or misunderstood them,
Oh,
misdiagnosed them. Yeah, that's
that,
us.
that that's a great word to use, diagnose. Now, I know you have doctor in your title, but how is it when someone comes into your ministry? How are they feeling? Are they feeling the love right away, or are they checking it out to see what's going on? What are you picking up? What do you sense?
Immediately they feel the love. That's something that I teach and I'm going to live by it and teach it whenever anyone comes. I don't care, stinking, drunken, high, whatever. They're going to feel the love. So immediately they feel the love and they know that they're safe there. We make an
Amen.
environment that they're safe and they're loved.
That's good. So I'm gonna jump around for a little bit. So I
Okay.
noticed during COVID, you had services outside. Tell me what type of impact that had on your community.
Oh wow, it impacted the community because our building is sitting in the middle of a apartment complex, and we had people, and that across the street is a Walmart, and there's a the main highway. Literally,
Okay.
people would come because they were like, we hear the sound over at Walmart, and they would follow the sound, and it has impacted them tremendously. It has.
What sound are you talking about? Was it music? Was it the praying? Was it the preaching? What drew them?
Many of them said they heard the preaching and they heard the praise. And so the praise drew them. Many of them was like we were down and out. We didn't know, but when they came, the praise and the preaching is really what touched them.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, when I first heard you speak, I heard you talk about a little bit of your testimony. Do you believe that your personal testimony, and you can share some today if you like, but don't share it all because you will be back. But do you believe that your personal testimony has a great impact on the ministry New Beginnings?
It does. My personal life and I call DJ, I call her Dr. Booker.
Yeah. Hold on. When she first started calling, I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. She was scaring me like crazy, but that's that's our affection. Okay.
Right. And so my background, literally, I've come from a place of many bondages, suicide, imprisonment, sickness unto death, um, abuse, rejection. Listen, whatever you can name out here, I promise you, I've been through it. And because of that, I have a heart that I take what the schools say, no child left behind, no
Okay.
man, no woman is left behind. I had vowed to God that I will take individuals by the hand because I had no one to take me by the hand and walk me
Mm-hmm.
through stuff, literally. And so, what I've gone through from homelessness to, I mean, whatever, I'm telling y'all, whatever it is, I've gone through it, okay? And I can identify it. And I love to walk people through the process of it.
Okay. So you said you've gone through it. What was your help or your strength in going through whatever some of those things that you said that you went through?
There were certain times in my life that I put it like this: BC, before Christ. Before Christ, I fought my way through it, but I've always had a strong mind. I've always been a go getter. Before
Okay.
Christ, I didn't know God, but I was like, listen, I'm not going to let this stop me. My arm broke, I got another arm. Listen, we're going to do whatever I have to do to get through it. And all my choices wasn't right, but I stayed in it. I stayed in the fight.
See.
And I've always had a determined mind. Determination. I was like, no, I'm not going to let this get me. No, there's more to me. These are things that I said that was before Christ.
Okay.
Now, the things that I went through in Christ, it was the word of God, believing and trusting. And what took me back when I was in the streets, I didn't know God and I made it, but I knew God was with me. I had a
Okay.
praying mama and grandma and godmothers. So in Christ, I knew the word that gave me strength, even though there were times of challenge where I'm like, you know what, but I kept on. I still had a determination.
So that's the drive. That's the drive that you had. Now, as coming up, what was your passion or your excitement once you came after Christ? You talked about the before Christ, but what was your drive, especially when the Lord told you to start a church? What was your first reaction to that? Or to preach? Talk about the preaching part first, and then talk about the church.
Listen, the preaching part, I was like, no, sir. No, I'm not doing that. Because when I met Christ, I was in a bunk inside of a prison and I knew nothing about what God was saying. Okay. I
Okay.
had an encounter with God. And when you have an encounter with God, you know God. So I knew nothing. So I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. No. I called my aunt, who's a pastor, and I was like, Aunt, da 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 da. She was like, just say yes. I said, yeah, no, ma'am. She said, well, okay, you'll just sit there and hung up the phone on.
Oh, ow.
And I was like, okay. Um, and then through the course of time being where I was at, a prophet came in. I knew nothing about prophets. I promise y'all. My mama took us to a Baptist church, okay? So I
Okay.
knew nothing. And this lady began to speak what God was saying concerning me. And all I remember is falling out on the floor. That's it.
That's it.
When I woke up, I said, okay. And inside of the prison, everybody would call me preacher lady. And I was like, don't y'all do that. Don't. And so that's, I said yes after. Okay. Then my drive starting out in ministry was children.
Okay.
Because of the area that I grew up in, seeing and remembering what I went through. I was a child that was molested. I was a child that stayed to myself. I was a child that now I knew, but then I would see things in my room. So I'm gonna just talk as if I, I saw things in my room. I would be up at night. You know, I could feel stuff. I didn't know it was discernment. I didn't know it was, seeing into um, the demonic. I didn't know any of that. All I know, I was tormented. I would be up at night. I would cry. I was molested. I grew up in a home where there was a man and a woman and mom and daddy, and they took us to church. And so you would think that was the perfect house. But as a child, um, I would go off to myself, didn't know who I was. And so when I looked out and when we first started ministry, I started with the children, and young people are still my passion, because they're innocent.
Okay. That's absolutely great what you said when you were talking. I almost saw like a crane and a bulldozer just tearing things down. In order to tear stuff down and in order to rebuild, things have to be torn down. And I have seen you in your bestest outfit just on the floor praying for people and working with people. But not only that, I know that during the pandemic you all gave away food. You made sure people was needed. So talk about some of the tent revivals that you have. By the way, I'm going to put Dr. Brown's information up. I'm going to put her email up and her website if you want to reach out to her, because she has so much to say and so much to give. And not only does she say and give, but she's also a doer. So I want her to talk about some of those tent revival or tent meetings that she has down in South Carolina.
Yes, yes. I have a big purpose tent. And when we put the tent up, people come under, they get delivered. Um, Once I came out from where I was at, and then I was introduced to my apostle during that time, because like I said, I knew nothing. We came up in tent ministry, and I love it. Listen, I love dealing with people, evangelistic work. I love it. I love being around people and dealing with people. So up under the tent service, we'll see people delivered. We'll see people happy. We've had people that were high and drunk come up under the tent, and literally, it instantaneously, listen, they were sober, crying and weeping. And I remember this one time we had the tent up. This individual, he came, was drunk, him and some of his friends, and it was one of the guys was telling him, "Man, come on, come on," and he was like, "No." He was like, "I want to give my life to the Lord." Gave his life to the Lord, instantaneously, um, sobered up, and about 2 weeks later, he got killed.
Oh wow, that was okay. Wow, that's a great testimony. So let me ask you this: if I didn't know what a pastor was or what a leader was, because I know you like to build leaders, and I invited you to come to my school on career day, how would you describe, I want to say your occupation, but we all know that it was a call from the Lord. How
Right,
would you
right.
describe that? What that thing you do?
My occupation is to take individuals and empower them, give them the tools, take that potential that's at risk inside of them, take that, give them the information, give them the tools that is needed, so now they can take what's inside of them and begin to lead and produce.
Okay, all right. And so what type of training that you have, and I don't mean book training, I mean real life experience training, because your ministry is definitely hands on.
Right. All right. Listen, I had streetology. Okay.
What is streetology?
Streetology is, listen, from anything, using drugs, whatever, the hurt, the rejection, the pain, the um, the disappointments, the having it all but still feeling lonely. Um, the process of individuals really not knowing you, and they've already. I'm trying, because I know we airing. They
Hey, I'm sorry, Praise from the Closet. We are about reaching all ethnicities, all religions. So be free. There's no censorship on here, especially when we're. Go ahead, you're free.
um they're, we always hear the side of the streets of that, they got your back. And in a sense, they do. But you rarely hear people talk about the streets. It's a doggy dog world, and every man for themselves. And so I had to learn that the only person I could depend on was Onika. And the only person that was going to tell on Onika is Onika. So I learned to be aware. I learned through hardships and disappointments how to have a heart for people. Even when I did the things I did, some of my road buddies would be like, how you got them at your house and you feeding them? You got them at your house and you talking to them? I've always loved people, and always, as a little girl, loved to see people develop. My dad tells me stories of when I was little, how he would watch me as a little child. So that has always been my heart. It breaks my heart to see people in bondages and see people in places that all it takes is silver and gold have I not, but such as I have, I'm gonna give unto thee. Let me pour into you. Let me get into your mind and teach you that there's a better way.
Okay, okay. I like to hear you when you say listen, because when you say listen, I know a tin hut, she's about to say something, whether it's profound or it's just something that's off the wall. But you mentioned something just a few minutes ago. You mentioned food, and I know that you are a dynamite, excellent cook, and you take time with your ingredients and how you're cooking. How would you relate your cooking to ministry?
You have to, first of all, have what I've always trained and tell leaders. You have to know when to apply pressure and when not. You got to have the right amount of ingredients. The Bible tells us we're the salt of the earth. If you put too much salt in something, it's intolerable. So you have to be able to mix the ingredients. You got to be able to take your time and put love in it. Same thing when it comes to people. You're going to have to take time. You're going to have to know when to say something, because sometimes you don't have to say anything. Just let them talk. Just let them be. That's why I introduce myself as OT, Onika. I tell people I'm Onika. What you see is what you get. And so you have to learn when to add sugar.
Okay.
You have to learn when to, how hard you're going to stir this, how quick you're going to stir it. So you really, when you relate that to cooking, and you take cooking and relate it to people, you have to know how to deal with each individual person individually, and allow Holy Spirit to guide you on that individual person, regardless of what the religious sect say, because guess what? They did that to Jesus. You hanging out with them, you letting Magdalene touch you. You know she a prostitute. And you, oh, okay. So, like I said, I love people. I do. I really do.
Yes, yes. Yes. All right. So let's switch over for a little bit, and let's talk about your global ministry, because I know you have several entities with that. You tapped on it just a little bit, but touch it, go in a little bit more detail about the global, because I know you travel. You travel across the nation, and you've also gone outside the countries, but also you help entrepreneurs and you give out clothing, and you do quite a few things. So that, because part of, and I'm going on, but see, part of the pastoring is going out and evangelize. You're also an evangelist,
Right.
so talk about what some of the things that the global does.
All right. Our global ministry, we do reentry programs for at-risk individuals from anywhere to ex-offenders, HIV/AIDS, at-risk children, homelessness. Um, our global ministry deals with um, the at-risk part of the individual, where we take that individual. Once again, we give them the tools and the information, and we walk alongside them. We give anywhere from food, we connect them to doctors. Um, we've done transitional homes with ex-offenders where they were in the program from 6 to 18 months, and we take them not just through a program, but teach them how to save, connect them back with their families. When they leave, they have money. So it's going across seas. I'm one to go across seas. I like to do missions. If I
Mm-hmm.
see the need, there's a school, let's build a school. If there's a hospital, let's build that hospital. Me, this is me, and well, I'm not gonna say I pray I don't offend anybody, because Jesus said he came to offend, and that word offend means to cause you to think. I don't want to go preach and take money from there. I want to go in. I'm that one that goes in and say, let's solve this problem. I'm a solutionist. What is the problem? Let's solve this problem so that they can be better.
That's right. Wow, that was great. And as you were talking, I was just thinking about even your connections with the city of where your ministry is.
Yes.
Talking about building that partnership.
Yes, it's very, very important, y'all. Very, very important as a leader, because you have to understand that you have influence where you are. And it's very important for you to connect. And we have a connection with our city officials there where, number one, the first thing I was like, can we come on the city grounds and pray? Can we cover y'all in prayer? So every first Saturday, we cover our city officials. We cover that region in prayer. We call out their name. I have taught the team, listen, go on the website, get their name, what the seat they fill and what they do, and
Wow.
we pray and cover them. And also, have dialogue with them. What are some of the problems in the area? Let's see how we as a ministry team can fulfill this. And so as a leader, it's very important. Don't stray away from city council meetings and not talking with your mayor, and just don't go wanting anything.
Okay.
Go as the solution, because they have a lot on them and they can only do certain things and they can only say certain things. But we are the mouth, ears, and eyes for our region. And so it's very important to have that connection so
Okay.
that whatever some of the problems are, you can be that solution for it.
Well, okay. I want to skip a minute because not only are you the doctor, the pastor, the preacher, the teacher, the evangelist, the chef, you are also an author.
Yes.
Talk about your books that you have, and how can we get your publications.
All right. One is you can go to Amazon and type in "You're Not Crazy, You're Just Prophetic." That is one of the books that has been written. And then we have where are the intercessors? You will have to individually contact me for that. That is a prayer manual. We will have that published soon also. But you go on Amazon and type in either my name, Onikat Brown. The book will pop up, or either "You're Not Crazy, You're Just Prophetic," and it'll pop up.
Okay, well, I want to let the audience know this is DJ Straight with Praise from the Closet, celebrating Clergy Appreciation Month with the one and only Apostle Dr. Onika T. Brown, and I have her email, her website, and her phone number on there. Now, Apostle Brown, You are a fashionista, if I can say that. And I am even in your sweats and your tennis shoes, but you take great pride in how you look. And that's what you do at your ministry as well. And that didn't come overnight. What was the process of saying, okay, how did you get to operating in that spirit of excellence, not only in the natural building, but with your congregation and those that you associated with as well?
Um, One from a little child. My dad and my mom, because my dad often told me how, I was a baby model. And so my dad is a very neat man, his mom, all this stuff. So first of all, we know it's God, but first of all, it started through the family lineage. Then on my mama's side, my grandma and them. And so for years, and I see where we're going, and I'm just gonna talk it. For years over time, people didn't know, and I'm working on this to do this on my talk show. People didn't know um, that I was one that was depressed and didn't like how I looked, even though everybody saw me dressed and all this good stuff, because I don't care what size you are. How my thing was, I want to look neat. I want to have that spirit of excellence. And so I did it. But underneath all that, when I got home from out of everybody, I would be depressed. I would ball up. I didn't like looking at myself. But I knew I had if I don't want to say a job, I had a career, a job, ministry, whatever you want to call it, that I had to do. And people was depending on me. And so I went through a process of saying, you know what? We're going to work on this. You cannot effectively and truthfully do ministry and you're not liking yourself in this. So I went through a process of working on eating right, doing what I need to do to get it. Right now, it's 110 pounds off exercise.
Wow, wish you had a before and after picture.
And I took that same spirit of excellence
Mm-hmm.
into the ministry, and whatever we do, I tell them, I say, listen, we doing it to God, whether it's your finances, your body, talking, dressing, driving your car, cleaning your house, whatever. Let's do it in the spirit of excellence, because excellence draws excellence.
That's right.
Excellence draws excellence back to you. And so whatever you want to come back to you, that is what you put out. So I teach them, even with ministering the word of God. I don't care if you're just ushering at the door. Let's do it in excellence.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. So you mentioned that you have a television show. Could you tell us how we can see it and what you talk about on your television show?
We are working. We got some tapings coming up. It is called Rewrite with OT
All
broadcast.
right.
And it
Okay.
is a reality TV talk show where we are talking about real life issues that people deal with, and not just talk about it. We have individuals that have gone through and have come out and have a
Okay.
story to tell. So it's not like it's cosmetic and no, these are real life issues. And so our broadcast is about touching those that are sitting on the other side listening, that is going through, that when they hear and they see, it's going to touch them and allow them to come out also.
Wow, that's great. Okay, for the viewing audience, I almost said congregation because I'm feeling a little church here. I'm going to put up Dr. Brown's email, website, and phone number. But listen, I wanted you to touch on, because I understand that you have a conference every year called the Kingdom Summit. What is that? What is that conference? What is that conference about? And when is that conference?
Kingdom Summit is every year in September. Either we have it the 9th through the 12th or the 10th, but it's always the week of Rosh Hashanah. All right. Kingdom Summit, because Rosh Hashanah, if you know anything about it, that's the new year for the Jewish calendar. And so when the Lord instructed me to do this. Kingdom Summit is about bringing his people together in that new year, releasing unto them what heaven is saying for that new year, also empowering them, once again, giving them the tools, but a time of just free worship, unrestricted, getting the downloads, getting the information that you need, whether it's spiritual, business, whatever, so that you're able in your new year move forward. And it's for anybody, but majority of the time it's leaders. And this year, listen, it's still what we took in this year, we're seeing manifestations and it's still happening. For all the years that we've done it, this year has really been the year. It really has.
Okay. So I know that your church has a variety and people coming in off the streets. What is it? And let me just take an example. Your praise and worship team.
Right.
You had to start them from the beginning, and now they are in the middle stages. Talk about what it took to get them where they are, because as you said, you started your ministry. That means you had to teach people how to do everything, how to usher, how to sweep, how to do that. What was that like as far as grooming?
Okay. With our praise and worship team, as the individuals came in, they came in. Oh, I can sing. You know, I can play. Cool, fine. Get up there. Let's do it. And I'm going to say, voices wasn't tuned, crackling. You know, our drummer was doing what he, you know. But my thing, I'm like this. Put them up there. And I listen. And I mothered and I covered them. Because we had individuals that be like, well, listen, leave them alone, because they're willing to do. And so over the course of time, letting them operate in what they had, and then start teaching them about prayer, teaching them getting your word, you know, having practice, listen at this, do it. And as you said, now they're in where I'm like, especially we call him Lucky. I'm like, wow, where just allowing people to take their gift. It might not be perfected, but let them start using it. And as they use it, and as you teach them, pray for them and push them and cover them, and tell the devil, listen, no, you're not gonna say, I know they don't sound well, I know they off key, but listen, if you're mature enough, you just go ahead and praise God, but you gonna leave them alone. And so there they are now.
But that almost goes along with the name of your ministry, New Beginnings, because again, you take maybe what once was or what doesn't exist, and you allow people to develop and to grow into where they are. And I can honestly say, you know, after you start calling me Dr. Book, I'm like, this lady is putting too much pressure on me. But I know all the prayers you prayed, and you know, we just have straight talk and real talk, but I can appreciate that. And after you have come off the high mountain of preaching and singing and driving and doing all those things that you like to do, what do you do for your downtime? What do you do to come down? Where's the balance?
Oh, you will put me there, and you know I'm truthful. I'll say for the past 2 years, I've went places just for that downtime, but I'm learning to do that.
That's
a lot of time, my downtime, I'll probably just sit, or now that I walk, and then I go to the shooting range. That's my outlet to de-stress. Go to the shooting range. But that part of me, I'm really working on more. I haven't put a whole lot into it, but that is what I'm working on more now.
Yeah, but see, even in your downtime, you're always ready for witnessing. You're always ready for ministry, because you really do love on people. You really do go into neighborhoods that other people may say, I don't know if I want to go. I don't know if I want to go there or not. But there's such a consistency with your ministry. So tell us the benefits of being consistent, not only in just ministry, but being true to yourself.
I'm seeing the fruit of the labor. When you are consistent, you may not see it right then, but I know without a shadow of doubt that I'm now in the timing of God where everything is unfolding. Why? Because I was consistent when it was just me and my son, a little boy passing out flyers, just he and I, consistent when it was only three of us in the building. Um, I promise you, being consistent, constantly doing what it is that you know that you're supposed to be doing when you don't have the applause, when you don't have the push, when you don't have the natural help.
That's
God, God's divine timing in your life, when that fruit starts showing, when that fruit start manifesting, what I'm experiencing right now, it's like, God, everything going fast. I mean, because now what I was consistent in is starting to spring forth now.
okay. You touched on a word I was going to ask you about was the timing of God for say for the next 3 or 4 years. Where do you see um, New Beginnings, or where do you see OT Brown ministry? Where do you see that going?
I see us go in the forefront of everything. I see us having um, little hubs all over, the vision of it expanded. I see us globally going into literally all the world. And I see thousands and thousands and thousands of people coming to Christ. Because one of the things is we're getting ready to hit the streets hard.
Yeah.
We're getting
Yes.
ready to hit the streets hard. And so I see the ministry expanding in all the regions, going into those uncharted territories and seeing groves of people coming to Christ. I do.
That's what I can say. That's what you're about, and that's why I wanted to take the time to celebrate you doing Clergy Appreciation Month, because you believe in the total package, and we all know that your help is only in the Lord. You take no credit for anything. But if you could talk to give some encouragement to maybe somebody that's struggling, and younger people, or somebody not really sure which way to go from here. And I know you're not a deep person. You tell it like it is. But talk about something that's going to give some encouragement and hope.
For all of you all that are dealing with any situation, first of all, I'm going to tell you to breathe. Breathe. The situation seems as if it's enlarged and it's not, however you see it. First of all, I'm going to say breathe. Stop thinking too much in it. Um, and once you get that place where you can just breathe and begin to reassess it and begin to look at it and say, listen, I don't have the money. So, I mean, yeah, I need a car. But if you got to come get it, they have Lyft. I don't want to do Lyft. I don't want to do Uber. I don't even want to ride in a cab. But you know what? I still got to wait. Anything that's going to cause you headache, we don't want to let it go, but let it go. And you can always start over. As long as you got breath in your body, there are things in our life that we don't like, but as long as you got breath in your body, if they want the car, let them get it. You got a job, got money, you got cab, you got Uber. All right. I mean,
Okay.
it's just, and I use that as a scenario. But whatever it is, y'all, please, your health, your mental status, your family needs you, your friends need you. Just let it go, because I promise you, you will recover all as long as you stay in the fight and you learn the process of, you know what, I maybe didn't handle that right, but I learned from this. So guess what? I'm gonna do different now. Now I'm not gonna go try to. I'm only bringing in 1,000 a month, so I'm not gonna go get me a $50,000 car. I'm gonna drive this little Honda. If it has a purple door, pink door, long as it get me where I get until something change. It's just, we try to make people and we display and make people feel like, you're nothing unless you got this, unless you got this. Let me tell you, and I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm so loving it now that I can go to Walmart and buy me a $3 and $4 shirt. Do y'all know? Many days I had to pay $80 for a shirt. Man, listen. So it's them little things as you learn and you see where this was damaging, and I lost this, but in reality it was a relief. Just let it go. Just and think about you. Love you enough that I'm gonna say, you know what? This thing that me, it has to go. I can jump in an Uber and get. Matter of fact, need be I can get on a bike. We got to get to the point of quit worrying about how we look to others and what people saying about us.
Okay.
And I can go on and on from that. So I'm gonna just
Well, I know you can. I put the flyer up because I wanted to show the total you, because you touched on so many different subjects. When you talk about cutting back, using what you have, and that's basically what your ministry is about. OT Brown Ministries, the global OT Brown Global, and I'm going to put up the contact information one more time if you want to reach out to Dr. Onika T. Brown, all the way from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I appreciate her coming on today, helping me to celebrate. And again, she has books out. If you go on Amazon, You're Not Crazy, Just Prophetic. She has a television show coming up. And I appreciate you for coming on today. And again, you're listening to DJ Straight with Praise from the Closet. Give us a holler out on our, you can email us at Gospel Music Lovers Buffet. We are playing music 365, 24/7. And not only that, you can give us a call at 202-322-2470. And I'm just excited about having a guest on and having the astute Apostle Dr. Onika T. Brown on, and I will give the parting words to you. And again, thank you for coming on. Then this certainly won't be your last time for coming on.
Yes. And can I say one thing? Y'all saw that dress on that flyer. That dress was only $9.99. Okay.
Let me put that back up. You said now it's like Shingle said do what? What? $9.99? What?
Listen, when you talk about cutting back, yes. So that's a whole nother talk. Yes.
Okay, amen. It looks great. It looks great on you. It looks great on you. So, do you have any parting words before we sign off? And thank you all for participating today.
Thank you, DJ Straight. I say Dr. Booker, but her show
It's
name.
okay.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you all that are listening and watching. I appreciate you all so much. All around the world, as I always say, I love each and every one of you all. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Don't know you, haven't seen you, but I love you as an individual.
All right, thank you. And if you missed any of this broadcast, you can certainly go on YouTube, and the channel is DJ Straight. That's DJ STRATE. And until we'll be back on at 6:00 tonight with Tripping with the Birds. But thank you, Dr. Brown, for coming on, and we will be signing off. And I will see you all later. Thank you.